If you're happy and you know it, give yourself a big hug. If you're happy and you know it, do you love being by yourself? If you're happy and you know it, then you really ought to show it. If you're happy and you know it, could it mean that you really like who you are? And it's a really personal question to ask in a world where there's a lot of unhappy people. There's a lot of people who are seeking attention, affection. They want to express themselves or impress other people. And I always ask this question, what happens if there were no other people? If you're relying on somebody else to love you, motivate you, inspire you, care about you, what if they don't show up? And it's a very tough question because, or there's two reasons. One is that imagine a life like that where you don't have anybody that cares about you. Wouldn't that be awful? But are there people who feel like that? They feel like nobody cares about them. Or people who really don't have anybody that cares about them. They literally are by themselves. So what if you're ever in that position where nobody cares about you? What happens if you feel unloved? What if you care? And I often hear this quote, nobody gives a shit about me. What if you're ever in that position? How do you deal with it? Can you be mentally tough and strong enough to handle it? Or even better, what if that was the starting point and that's where you were the happiest, where there was nobody that cared about you, nobody gave a shit about you, nobody was interested in you at all, but you had a great relationship with yourself? And this is for me a really important question. And I stand here, it's easy for me to say this, I'm standing here in the beautiful South Island of New Zealand. This is our outdoor training area, and I've got a fantastic husband who's a martial artist who trains in this outdoor training area. And people say to me, Rowie, how do you know what it's like to be lonely or be by yourself or have nobody that cares about you? Because you have this amazing husband. And I do. But what I do know, and it's something that we talk about on a pretty regular basis, and something that my father taught me before he died. My father said to me, you're going to be happy and you're going to have a brilliant life and you're going to be successful and you're going to do all the things that you want to do after I die. Don't you dare be unhappy because I've died. I've lived a great life and you now need to live a great life and not be sad that I've died. If I die, you need to celebrate my life, not be sad that I've died. And that was pretty harsh talking to that my father gave me. And I'm so appreciative of it, and it's something that came in and I talk about on a regular basis, that if something happens to either of us, that our life must continue, that we need to be happy, because it would be disrespectful to the other person if we became miserable or upset if we didn't have anybody in our life caring about us. So what I do know is this, my husband is a very strong person, and if I'm not here, he's still happy, he still has a great day, he still does all of the stuff that he really enjoys, and vice versa. And the reason we know that is we've spent a lot of our relationship apart. And in fact, there was a time where we lived apart. He had his own apartment, I had my own apartment, and we just had date nights during the week. And the only reason we don't live like that anymore is we now have animals and we love they're our kids, and I don't want to share my kids, so we live in the same house. I'm sharing this with you really personally because so many people share with me every day that they feel like nobody cares about them. And my question is always this, who's the person that should care about you the most? Who's the person that should love you the most? Who's the person you should be best friends with? If I love who I am, if I'm a person that I can respect, that I want to be friends with, that I like to be with, I'll never be lonely. I've got some pictures that go through in our house. We have all of our screens have our vision board on it, which is all of our goals and the great things we've done in our life and all the things that we want to do in our life. And I've got some great photos going through that screen at the moment of things that I've done by myself. I've been to musical concerts by myself, movies by myself, dinner by myself, holidays by myself. I've spent a lot of time on my own, and there's a reason for that, because I never used to like being on my own. I was the person that came home and had to put the radio on or had to call somebody or had to have the television on because I didn't want to be by myself. And I learned the hard way that if you are relying on other people to provide you with happiness and joy and connection, that they might let you down. And if you've ever been in that situation or people have shared with you that situation where they've expected somebody to be loyal, reliable, loving, kind, motivated, show up for them, and they just didn't show up. So I learned this beautiful quote from my favourite business philosopher. If you need somebody to motivate you, What if they don't show up? And I put that into every other context. If you need somebody to love you, what if they don't show up? If you need somebody to hold you accountable, what if they don't show up? If you need somebody to be in your life, otherwise you won't be happy, what if they're not there? And isn't it the most important, respectful, responsible thing to do to be the person that you really want to invest time with, the person that you love, the person that you respect, the person that's going to take you through your life regardless of who else is there? And that's the next really important life lesson I was taught by a psychologist, is that if you are on your own, and you love your life, everybody else that comes into your life will add value to your life, not be your life. And this is going to be a very personal and now probably confrontational question. If you've ever been somebody's life where they can't live without you, how did that make you feel? Now, there's several answers to that, I get that. But if somebody can't live without you, doesn't that give you a huge responsibility that that person can't live on their own? They have to have you in their life. The reverse of that, have you ever had to have somebody in your life to feel complete? And there's a million love songs that talk about that. You know, you complete me and you're my second, my other half, and I can't live without you. And there's hundreds, thousands of love songs about that. But isn't the ultimate love the love that you have for yourself, and that you respect yourself, look after yourself, you're self-motivated, self-inspired, self-educated, self-disciplined, so that every part of your life is designed to make sure that you have a great life? And here's the great question. Is it then possible that you will attract that same kind of person into your life? And I stand here outside my husband's outdoor training area, and I always ask this question. I've got a brilliant husband. My father said to me when I was a very young girl, the person that you marry needs to be somebody that is really funny and really smart. And my husband is the funniest man I've ever met, and he's the smartest man I've ever met, and I love him with all my heart. But I also know that it would be very disrespectful of me to stop living if he wasn't here. Because we have designed a life that is independent, individual, and when you've got two independent individuals that come together and then grow together, that's exciting. But if one of those people isn't there, or one of them doesn't show up, and I'm sure you've heard of this or experienced it, where you've thought somebody was reliable or loyal or delightful, and they stopped showing up, or they stopped being kind, or they were disrespectful, or you thought they were one kind of person and turned out that they weren't. You thought that they were a beautiful partner and they ended up cheating on you. Those horrible things that happen. And so many people's lives are determined by what other people did to them, what other people made them feel. Well, I've always got this great question. Did somebody make you feel that way, or did you allow them to make you feel that way? Whatever that person did, that's just who they are. If I let that upset me, affect me, change my life, make my life negative or pessimistic or less than the best life I can possibly live, then isn't it that person's got control over me rather than me controlling my own life? And yes, I'm often accused of being a control freak, and yes, I am. I might take the freak off the end, but I want to be in control of my emotions. I want to be in control of my life, my health and fitness, my finances, the people I put in and out of my life, and most importantly, I want to be in control of my feelings. I don't want to only feel happy if K-Man's here. I don't want to be happy just because I've got 100,000 followers on social media. And so many people share that with me. In fact, only just yesterday, one of my students shared with me that if he opens up his social media and he hasn't increased the numbers, or he's had people that don't like him, or there's been some kind of negative response to his social media, he said to me, I feel depressed and angry and I have a terrible day. Depressed, angry, and a terrible day because of other people. I think that's sad, and I don't want that for you. I'm standing out here, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm in the rain. It's cold as hell. It's the middle of winter in the South Island of New Zealand. And I just love being by myself. Now, at the moment, I'm with you. But in a minute, I'm going to turn the camera off and I'm going to be by myself because I love who I am. I love that I'm growing every day. I make freaking mistakes every day. But I learn from them and grow from them and get better from them. Crap happens every day, as it does to everybody, but I learn from it and grow from it. And could that be a choice? Could we decide, okay, that happened, I've got no control over it, or I did have control over it, so I better not allow that to happen again. Enjoy every mistake you make so that you don't make the same mistake again. Enjoy every terrible thing that happens because you can learn and grow from it. And most importantly, every single day is to be lived, whether you're on your own or with thousands of people. Wouldn't it be nice to love every minute? Because we only get today. Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow never comes. There's always a tomorrow, or maybe there isn't. We only have today. So why not enjoy every moment, whether you are with somebody or you are by yourself? Could that be a really good idea? Thank you for coming to Romax. I would love you to live your life to the max. Woohoo!